Comrades, this is Chetty here, and as you guys can tell by the title, inside today's video, I'm doing a review of Robin Hood, so let's get right into it. So some of the reviews of the movie are: IMDb gave it a 5.3 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 65 out of 100. The director is Odo Bathurst. I don't know if I said that right, but he's only directed one other film. It was like a made-for-TV film, and I don't really understand why they would have gotten like such an inexperienced director to direct a film with such a big budget. But I'll get into that later inside my review. The budget for the film was a very big budget, $100 million. And in box office domestically, it made $23 million. Foreign, it made, I believe, $26 million. So it's made a little bit below $50 million. And this is definitely doing very bad in box office. I don't think it's one of the biggest box office bombs of the year, but I do think it is doing pretty bad. So pretty much the plot of the movie is Robin Hood is about a man named Robin of Locksley who fights against a corrupt government who are stealing money from the poor. I think this movie is as bad as critics are making it out to be. Yes, the movie does have some flaws, and it is kind of like a blatant cash grab concerning the fact that we just got a Robin Hood reboot in 2010. But I do feel like, you know, the film is definitely a fun film. But I feel like this is kind of a lesson of why not to keep rebooting the same story over and over, because people are just going to get bored of it. That's the reason why I feel like they really haven't made any sequels of these films, considering like how well they've done. It's the same story over and over, and I think Hollywood should definitely stop making these Robin Hood films. But I guarantee you in a couple years we'll definitely be getting a reboot soon. But yeah, I enjoyed the film, like I said. It definitely does have some flaws in it, though. I thought the film was a very fun action film. I do feel like, you know, critics are being a little bit too harsh on it. Yes, the film is a little bit more carefree than some of the past incarnations of the story. But I do really enjoy the film, and I honestly enjoy films better whenever they're more having fun with it instead of being gritty, kind of like the one from 2010 was. But I really enjoyed this film. Like I said, I thought it was a fun film. I thought Taron Egerton, if that is how you say his name, was very good as this role. And I also really like Jamie Foxx's character inside of it too. Like I said, I do feel like critics are being a little bit too harsh on this film. I thought the action sequences whenever they were in it were pretty good. Mainly just the ones with him like shooting bow and arrows at all these different guys. But I do wish there were more of these action sequences. Because I feel like most of them are just like put inside montages. And I wish we would have gotten to see kind of like a first person, not like actual view like Hardcore Henry. But like showing the back of him just like nailing down guys with arrows. I just thought that would have been cooler to see instead of just showing montages of him just shooting guys and taking money, because that mainly seems to be what the action sequences are with him like fighting guys. And I don't think the writing is great inside that film. I think that's one of the flaws in it, and none of the jokes really land inside of it either, which didn't really surprise me. The writing isn't that great inside the film. I also feel like the story is just very cliche. Like, we've seen, not the fact that it's the Robin Hood story, because we've seen that so many times, like I said, inside films, but the fact that, like, he goes off to war, he comes back, and his girlfriend, who thought he was dead, is now dating another guy, and he's trying to get her back. We've just seen that so many times inside films, and I feel like this film, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that there's a love story in this, but I would rather have gone without this whole love triangle with, like, him, his ex-girlfriend, and her new boyfriend, because I feel like the whole purpose of this film is kind of, you know, an action adventure, not really a love story between these two characters or a love triangle going on. I could have done without it, like I'm saying. I think the villain is also very generic, and I feel like with this story, you could make like a really good villain, a really menacing villain who I guess is, you know, has a lot of power, and there's really nothing anyone can do against him. But this villain is just some guy who isn't really intimidating. All he has is just a bunch of soldiers, and I just didn't really love the villain inside this film. Also, the film to me feels very unrealistic and like almost too clean to take place during this time period. Like, first off, like, the ex-girlfriend of Robin Hood is like wearing makeup, and I don't think they had makeup back during that time. And even if they did, this character's like part of the poor society of this culture, so I don't think she'd be able to afford makeup. So I don't really understand how, you know, she was wearing makeup inside the film. Also, like, the villain always wears like this blazer, and from what I know, they didn't have like suits back inside like the 1400s. And of course, at the end, they definitely set it up for a sequel. So this is spoilers. The ex-boyfriend, Robin Hood, gets back with the girl, and the ex-boyfriend is now the villain. And this just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, concerning the fact that they just threw these rich people out of power, and they're already back in power. Like, who are they going to control? Because now all the poor people have left with all the money. So I just don't really get the ending, and I feel like the film was not a very well-made film. I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a very fun film, but it was just not really a well-made film, and I enjoyed it, but like I'm saying, the writing's not good in it, the story's not that great. We've seen it so many times, and I feel like it's time we see a reboot of this, but actually have a twist to it. And I feel like this film could have done something cool with that, but it just didn't really do anything special. It's just the Robin Hood story that we've seen so many times inside film. But I did enjoy the film. I thought it was a fun film, just not really a very well-made film. And it's honestly just a blatant cash grab, and I guess evidence that Hollywood is running out of ideas, like I said, concerning the fact that the reboot came out in 2010 and they're already rebooting it. But yeah, I enjoyed the film. I would recommend it if you are looking just to have fun with this film. But for critics, I understand why critics didn't like the film. Personally, I thought the film was fun. I know I was kind of ranting on it, but I did have fun with the film. I was never bored whenever I watched it, and I'd recommend it to anyone who is, just looking to see a fun film. But diehard, Robin Hood film fans, probably won't love this film, to be honest. And that's their opinion, like I said inside my last video. But I did enjoy this. I thought it was a good film. It just has a lot of flaws to it, and a little bit disappointing, but I did enjoy it. I'm going to give it a 7.8 out of 10. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified every single time I upload a video. And like I said, I know this video was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, but it ended up being uploaded today. Sorry about that, but I'll maybe back. Maybe. I keep messing up what I'm going to say. I maybe might be back with another video today, possibly a review of the Chipotle chicken burrito, but until then, if that doesn't come out, I'll see you guys tomorrow, or if that does, I'll see you guys later. This is Chatty signing off. Peace.